guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is the 12th of June. No, today is the 12th of July, and I thought I would make a little bit of a chatty video just to kind of like catch up and sort of explain what's been going on over the last couple of weeks and where I'm at in terms of sort of like my weight loss journey and just sort of like looking ahead to the future. I've been wanting to film this video for ages. Like, I've been desperate to get back and get back filming, and there has been opportunities, but to be perfectly honest, I feel like my head's just not been in the right place to have a proper sit down and a proper catch up with everyone. More so just because I've just not been feeling like, I don't know, I've just had this sort of like a lot going on emotionally, and although I'm very transparent on these videos, I've come on and bared my soul, sometimes absolutely cried my eyes out, and I have no problem with being honest with everyone, but it's just been, I don't know, I've just not felt capable in a way. However, today I thought, do you know what, I'm gonna film this video, and hopefully from here on out I'll be back to filming regularly. I'm sorry if you can hear a fan in the background. It is absolutely sweltering in the UK at the moment, and probably all over the world. It's been so hot, so I have a fan on me, I have some shorts on, I have my blinds closed, so I hope the lighting's okay and I hope the sound and everything's okay. It's been a while since I've filmed, so I'm feeling a little bit out of practice, but I'll do my very best. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a rambly chatty video, so I've grabbed myself a cup of tea, so feel free to get yourself a beverage. Water at this time is very, very good. I feel quite dehydrated today and a little bit sick, so it's probably a good sign that I should be drinking water. However, I really fancied a cup of tea, so there we go. Yeah, so it has been a wild one. I think the last video that I filmed was a fair few weeks ago now. I want to say at least three weeks ago, and I had just sort of like finalized the main sort of like components to my tattoo studio refurb. A couple of people got in touch actually. I just want to clear a couple of things up. I think I've mentioned it a few times, but probably since doing so, there's a few new people here. So I do work full-time. I own a tattoo studio. I don't actually tattoo because I can't draw photography. I would love to do it, but I don't think I have the patience to dedicate to learning, and I can't draw, so it's never really been a thing. I do love to get involved and help in some of the design aspects sometimes with clients and things, but that's probably about as far as it goes. So I'm joint owner of the tattoo studio with the main artist there, and I do all the things that's behind the scenes, so run the social media things, do the bookings, do the admin, do the stock orders, clean the studio, make the cups of tea. I'm just like that general overall studio manager, but yeah, that's what my main job is. So I had some renovations done, and I was like sort of project managing it and doing a lot of the refurb myself, so that took up a lot of my time over sort of the space of a week. And then I did my sort of like vlog, what I eat in a day video, and then Floss ended up getting sick. She got really, really unwell, and I think anybody else who is a pet owner or a dog mama or a cat mama or any animal mama, you will know like they are just as important as like your children. And I know some people have a hard time hearing that because they're like, oh, it's just a dog or it's just a cat or whatever, but honestly, there's nothing like the bond between a pet, you know. So it was very, very difficult. She had to stay in the vets for a few nighs, and it was a really, really emotionally draining and emotionally traumatic week of seeing her so poorly and so like upset and just in loads of pain, and it really broke my heart to leave her there. And yeah, she's 7 now, so she is getting on, and my you know, anxiety just took it to the worst possible place. So yeah, very stressed over that period. She is on the mend thankfully she's a lot better. She's still not completely out of the woods, but she is much better now. Thank you for everybody, because I did do a little quick update over on my Instagram, and a few people reached out and, you know, shared the love and support, so thank you so much if you did send me a message. And also over here on the what is it called, the message board thing, community, I think that's it, that's what it's called. Yeah, shared a message there, and thank you so much. Them comments and everything really meant the world to me, because it's really hard. I mean, Floss has been with me through some very turbulent points in my life over the last 7 years. She's been like my only constant and sometimes my only friend, so yeah, she means the absolute world to me. And I know one day she's not going to be here forever, but it was just, yeah, it was just really difficult to see her in so much pain. So I think during that period I was still obviously conscious of my weight loss and things like that. It is always on my mind. It's always on my mind in terms of like, I'm so passionate about wanting to get to the place I want to get to, but if I'm totally honest, my weight or what I weighed or what I was eating or anything like that really just, it wasn't as important at that point, as I'm sure you can understand. I just kind of like broke down a little bit. So not to say that I was like binging, and I didn't. I think I've got over that point now where I sort of like turn to food or drinking or whatever for when sort of like I have a bit of a traumatic experience. So that's really good. I think, you know, I've reached that point, but I still do suffer, because I want to get to a point where I can experience these things and, you know, I'm still sort of like looking after myself as well. And although I don't think I've gone, you know, absolutely crazy, I definitely wasn't thinking about what I was putting into my body. I've had a lot of barbecues, which has been a lot of burgers, a lot of chips, a lot of that kind of thing, and that there's nothing wrong with that, but in excess, you know, it's not great. It ends up making me feel at the point I am now, which over the last couple of days, especially with the heat, my legs have been so painful and so swollen, and I've felt really sluggish, and just, you know, all the things that make me want to be healthier and fitter in general. And yeah, I'm just at a stage now where it's kind of like, I started retracking this week. So I yesterday started tracking my calories again. I'm currently working on 1,500. I went on a bike ride with Jim on Sunday, which was pretty good. It was pretty good. We did 25k and most of it was uphill, and it was insane. Like, I did absolutely have to get off a couple of times to push my bike up the hill, because it was just so like intense. And it was really hot. We actually went out very early in the morning. It was mine and Jim's anniversary this weekend, and we had planned to go camping and to go do a lovely walk, as we are very keen walkers, as you can probably see by my cup. This is the Lake District, which is one of my most favourite places in the entire world. I love it so much, and we just love walking. But unfortunately, this year, you know, we've just not got out and done it, and there's not really, I mean, I suppose we could have probably fit it in at some point, maybe during the week, but we are having the kids longer than we have done in previous years. They stay with us through Thursday through to Sunday now, so it's more difficult because we both obviously own our own businesses, and although I do have Mondays off, I use that as a day to try and get in front with a lot of admin and stuff. So yeah, it's very difficult to try and find the time around sort of like childcare and whatnot. So yeah, we'd planned to go and have a lovely sort of like weekend camping, but then with Flossie getting unwell, we really didn't want to leave her being looked after, so we decided that we would stay home. And also another major sort of like contributing factor to that was also finances. I'm sure like a lot of people out there, it's getting quite, you know, ridiculous, the cost of living now, and although I'm a lot more fortunate than some, I've certainly felt the pinch of it a little bit here and there with certain things. I think it's just bad timing. There's just been one thing after another. I had a lot of problems with the van, which was multiples of thousands of pounds to fix. And then I did, you know, my studio renovation, and then all sorts of things like that, and then Floss getting unwell. Thankfully she had really good insurance, but there's still excesses and there's still things like that to contribute, and then everything has gone up. So yeah, so financially it was a bit, we kind of thought, you know what, it's probably better we just stay home, save a few pennies, and have just a nice weekend at home. But yeah, so on Sunday we decided to get up early and go on a bike ride, and the last time we went, we did 20k, I want to say. Yeah, we did 20k, and it was fairly flat, some inclines, but this time we're basically doing various routes on the Trans-Pennine Trail, which is, I don't know where it runs from, but I know from sort of like Doncaster, and from here you can go all the way to Manchester on this path. It's absolutely fantastic for biking and for walking, so we're doing sections of that, which is really fun. It's something that we both found that we both really enjoy, so it's really, really good that we have found that we both enjoy doing, and it's definitely a good workout. I didn't take my Apple Watch on this particular time, but Jim did, and we burn a crazy amount of calories, and it's just really, really good to be out in nature, and yeah, love it. So hopefully we can start to do that a little bit more regularly. But in terms of actual workouts, going to the gym, I haven't been to the gym in weeks, and I am missing it so much. And I know it sounds really stupid, because if I miss it that much I should just go, right? But I don't know if this is the same for you guys. Please let me know in the comments if it is, but I just have to be in the right headspace. And it's really silly because I know going to the gym makes me feel better. I'm on a weight loss and fitness journey, but ultimately I go to the gym because it helps me with my mental health. That's the main reason that I go. So I know that going is going to make me feel better, but it's really difficult to psych yourself up to get into the frame of mind to go if you're not feeling good. So it is quite tricky sometimes. So I haven't been in a while, so that's something that I need to get back on top of. But I suppose as a little bit of like a generalization of where I'm at with my feelings towards my weight loss journey, and you know, wanting to lose weight, I'm still super passionate about actually wanting to do it, and I do think about it daily. It's not like I just go through sort of like the motions and I'm sort of like not conscious of it. I do think about it a lot, and think about how much like just how much I want it, and it's very confusing to me, because for something that I want so much, it's like there's just this barrier there, and it's really confusing because I've sat and contemplated it loads, and I suppose it's just like, just do it, just do the damn thing. But for whatever reason, it just doesn't come as easy as that to me. And I've been chatting about it with some friends and with Jim and stuff. You know, I have been doing this long enough now to establish that it doesn't matter whether I set really strict boundaries or I make it really easy. Either way, I find it very difficult. So for instance, let's say, I don't know, that I tell myself I'm going to go to the gym every single day. I'm going to be, you know, eat a very low carb, high protein diet, calorie counting, macro counting, very strict, very routine, very regimented. And then on the flip side, I'll just say, okay, I'm gonna do mindful eating. I'm gonna make sure I eat an abundance of fruit and vegetables, but you can have whatever you want in moderation, and, you know, work out a couple of times a week, it's still just as hard. So that is really baffling to me, why I'm struggling just to stick to it, because I've done a fair few plans now. If you are a long-term viewer, you will know. And I wrote a post about this on my Instagram because I would get into a point where I was like, you know, this is actually quite embarrassing now, the fact that I am still here, still like trying. I should have achieved like at least a decent amount of weight loss by this point. But after sort of like sitting and reflecting on it, I've had 33 years of disordered eating in one way or another, and essentially quite a consistent issue with food, whether I'm eating too much of it or whether I'm eating too little of it, or whether I'm eating too much and making myself sick, or whether, you know, whatever it is, comfort eating, whatever it is, that's been somewhat consistent throughout my entire life. Even thinking right back to when I was like a toddler, I know even then, you know, I had these issues. So I cannot expect a time-bound result to a lifetime's worth of disordered eating and problems. And, you know, it's not just about, this journey isn't just about stepping on the scale and seeing that at a certain number. It really isn't. It's about living a life where I have freedom from food. And it sounds really stupid, and I feel like unless you've been there, you don't get it, because it's like, well, it's just food, you know, just eat a salad. But it's just really not as simple as that, and it's just so deep. I think what's going on with me is just so deep and so ingrained that it's just gonna take its time. One thing I know for certain is that I'm gonna continue to keep trying, and if people get bored and fed up of watching me, that's fine, because as much as I love each and every one of you, ultimately I'm doing this for me as a bit of like a self-therapy, if you will, or a way to sort of somewhat stay accountable. Because if I wasn't continuing to do the videos, or you know, checking in and things like that, I probably would have just give up. So I think it's good, and it's also good to look back and reflect on how I felt at a certain time and see if there's any patterns. I am starting to notice some patterns. One of the main patterns is that I can't bloody stick to something, and why is that? So that's kind of like where I'm at this moment in time, because when I've started a new plan, I've started it with a roaring fire that it's going to work. And there's a few things in my life that I have successfully overcome or successfully achieved. So I know, and it's been like it's been something that it's like really difficult to get a control of, but I've managed to do it. So I know that I have somewhere inside me a switch that I can just switch and make it how I want it to be. But I'm not able to do that with food and with this whole journey at the moment in time. So I'm kind of at a little bit of like a crossroads in terms of like, well, which direction do I go down now? I've been considering a couple of things. One of my friends mentioned the 75 hard. I've actually heard about it before. I've heard it here and there through obviously being a weight loss health fitness account. I have come across it. I never really paid much attention to it. I kind of thought, yeah, it's a really gnarly fitness challenge, but I've never actually like paid enough attention to it. And then I was talking to Laura about, I don't know what to do next. I feel like personally looking back, I do better with a much more structured, more regimented approach. I don't know why. I don't know why, because it would be so much easier. Like it's so much kinder to your mind and to your body to say, okay, nothing's like completely restricted, you know, and it's slow and steady and all these things. But for some reason I think personally I work better with a hard challenge. I'm not sure why, but yeah, so I am somewhat considering that. I do think I would make my own version. I think it's a free program, by the way, if you're interested in. Just Google 75 hard and you'll get to the website. And I can't remember the guy's name who sort of like constructed the program, but it's more like, it's also like a mental challenge. It's like it's not just about like losing weight. It's not like a weight loss tool, although you will have physical changes. It's more about sort of like changing your mind. It's training your mind to work with you rather than against you, and I think that's what I need. I think there's something somewhere deep back here in my brain that just keeps putting its foot out every single time I start to get somewhere. I start to like get up, and then suddenly I will trip myself up. It's nobody else's fault, it's totally all my fault, you know. I'm just self-sabotaging myself over and over and over again. So I do need to work through that, and it is something. I've been to therapy before, but I do think it would be beneficial for some like psychology or something where some trained professional can sort of like possibly give me a few suggestions. I don't know. So I'm considering that at the moment, but I think for the time being, right now, I'm just gonna do my best to track my calories, stay in my calorie goal, and just move my body as much as possible. I'm sort of like forecasting for August to somewhat really get down to the nitty-gritty. I've got quite a few things planned over the next couple of weeks. One of which being a gig in Manchester that I had planned during COVID, and it got cancelled and rearranged, and I am so excited for it. I'm going to see Haim, which is one of my all-time favourite bands. 2 of their albums I listened to through a really horrendously traumatic period in my life, and a lot of the songs like really resonate with me as like therapy. I don't know if you're like me and you're a music lover, but sometimes a song just, you know, music is just amazing. So I'm very excited to do that. And something else actually, while I remember, that I need to talk about is at the start of the year I said that I was going to try and go a year sober for no alcohol, no cigarettes, and I decided to cut my sobriety short after 7 months, because I just genuinely wanted, when I was thinking about sort of like this gig and a couple of other things that has gone on over the last couple of weeks, I just genuinely was like, oh, I'd actually really quite like to have a drink at that. And it wasn't like that I felt like I needed to do it, and I think the reason that I initially set out to do the year without any alcohol was to I feel like I got into a bit of a routine of drinking so many times a week or so many times a month or that kind of thing, and I just wanted to give myself a good long break. However, considering like the gig, I thought, you know what, I genuinely want to have just a couple of drinks, not go absolutely wild. And I have had a couple of drinks here and there over the last few weeks, and I definitely have changed. Like I'll have like 1 or 2 and I'm like, okay, I'm done now. I don't need to go wild. I don't feel like I need to get absolutely blind drunk or anything like that. And yeah, so I've decided to have sort of like July as a bit of a hall pass on my sobriety. I think from August onwards I might pick it back up though. I haven't totally decided on that yet, but I am feeling like I would love to do an August-September challenge, like a really sort of like nails challenge, just to give myself a really good kick up the arse, and also to try and make some really good progress with my weight loss this year. So I think, yeah, so where I'm at right now is that I am tracking my calories. I am going to start picking up sort of like the vlogs and things again. I haven't weighed myself in a while, so I don't know what the situation is now. I am planning on weighing myself this Friday, and I am planning on making a weighing video. I did weigh myself, let me think. It was somewhere towards the back end of June, and I think I was around 14 stone 5, I think I want to say. And I think that was an increase of 5 or 6 pounds from the previous weigh-in. So I know that I was up then. I don't know what the situation is now. Like I say, I am going to weigh in on Friday and see where I'm at, but I'm not totally stressing about it. I do feel like I would have loved to have been or had much more progress this year, and I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't disappointed in the fact that I'm not where I want to be. But I'm also trying to learn to love myself as who I am now as well, because there's no point in hating my body or hating myself, or like focusing on, you know, what I could have done or what I should have done. I think it's just, you know, you just got to accept what is and think about today and live your best life today, and then just keep trying. I mean, having lipedema is a blessing and a curse when it comes to sort of like health and losing weight and whatever. But one thing I will say as a bit of like a, I don't know, maybe a positive spin, is the fact that when I'm a bit like going through a bit of an overindulging period, and what I mean by that is like I've had refined carbs every day for a week, not like in ridiculous excess, but let's say, you know, a fair few amounts of white burger buns or whatever, and sort of very salty meat and stuff like that. They start to hurt so much more. So it's kind of like a little bit of a get yourself back in check thing, although it's like very uncomfortable, very painful. Like at the moment it feels like I'm carrying around 2 bloody solid concrete blocks. It's very uncomfortable, but there is an element of this that I can make better, I can control. I just think I really picked out the bad hand when, you know, I have disordered eating and lipedema. It's like the worst things that could go together. But I think eventually I'm striving to get to the place where it's just a lifestyle change. And I was reading something the other day which was very fascinating. I'm trying to remember the terminology in which was used. What was it? It was basically saying about how, you know, sometimes we focus too much on the goal that we want, and they used the analogy of when your room becomes messy and, you know, you tidy it up. But I think it was about strategy rather than goal. We don't think about sort of the journey into our room getting messy. Our room just gets messy and then we go, okay, I've got to tidy this up. And then it gets messy again and we think, I've got to tidy this up again. We don't implement the structure to it in order for it to not become messy again. And it sounds so simple, but I kind of, when I read that, a bit of a light bulb went off, and I think I am focusing too much on the goal rather than implementing the strategy and implementing the routine and implementing the habits in order to get me where I want to be. I just genuinely feel like I need to create a structure for every day and stick to it as many days as I can, and be realistic. about it, because there is going to be days where I go to Manchester with my friends and, you know, want to get a pizza or a burger and have a few drinks, and there is going to be times where I have a barbecue and I think, do you know what, yeah, I really want a burger in a white bread bun with some tomato ketchup and some fries. But the majority of the time I need to be eating as cleanly as possible, and that doesn't mean it has to be boring. Like I realised again last night, because I've been having quite a fair amount of like lollies and what have I been eating a lot of? I don't know, just like random crap, like Tunnocks tea cakes and things like that, you know. So last night for my dessert I had some Greek yogurt with some berries and some honey, and it is divine. It tastes incredible, so good, you know. And I also had for tea, I grilled some chicken on the barbecue, flame grilled chicken, side salad with just a couple of like drizzles of olive oil with some buffalo mozzarella, a bit of salt, bit of pepper, corn on the cob. Delicious, you know. It doesn't have to be burger and chips every night. It doesn't have to be hot dogs. It doesn't have. This is the thing. I need to do it enough for it to start making a difference, for then me to sit back and say, yeah, this is going well, this is my routine, you know. And I will get there. It's just about doing it. So like I said, for now, right now at this moment in time, I am focusing on my nutrition as much as I can. I'm trying to eat as many sort of like fruits and vegetables, as many plants as possible, as much lean protein as possible. Red meat is another thing that it makes me inflamed and sore. So yeah, just trying to think a bit smarter about it, and not depriving myself, but working with my body instead of against it. I know that I can make delicious healthy meals. It's just about doing it, just about making sure I do it. So that's what I'm trying to do at the moment, having a sort of deficit. I've not set it too strict because I want to have that buffer. I want to have that. I mean, for me, I know I get a lot of stick for my calorie goal, especially when it's like 1,200, but I promise you, I have done so many sort of like calorie expenditure calculators and so many research about, for my activity level, my height, my weight, what I should be eating to have a loss of 2 pounds a week, and it's that. So, you know, I know it sounds ridiculous, and I get all this stick about, you know, that's the diet of a toddler and you should be eating more or whatever, but you know, I've only ever really successfully lost weight when it's been that consistently for a good amount of time. But I am at the moment doing a 1,500 and just seeing how I get on with that over this next couple of weeks, and then moving in. I'm trying to like think ahead to August. So on my channel throughout the rest of July, I'll just be filming as much as possible and trying to catch up with everybody, and I've missed everybody so much. I've missed filming, so I'm trying to get back into a routine of filming more regularly. I feel like I've said that so many times, but I really am. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. I definitely am down for an August-September challenge and just really see what I can do, what like where I can take this latter half of the year. But yeah, that's it really. Just been a real emotional roller coaster, and I've just been trying to navigate it as best as I can. But yeah, so hopefully, I think I've covered everything, and this video's already been super duper long. If you've made it this far, comment a panda emoji just so that I know those of you who like to listen to me ramble on long and long and long. But yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna try and keep up to date with film. I'm gonna definitely try and do my weigh-ins on a Friday at least. and then try and get some sort of vloggy style videos and whatnot throughout the week. If there's any video that you're wanting me to do, let me know in the comments and I will hopefully get around to doing that. Someone actually suggested that they wanted me to do a video all about my tattoos. I've got a fair amount of them, and somebody wanted me to talk through them and what they all meant and that kind of thing. One of my tattoos actually is a white tattoo on my chest, just diverting away from the ending the video. But yeah, this one always like stands out quite a lot in the summer. I don't know if it's picking up on camera well, but this one out of all of my tattoos is probably the one that gets most of the comments, which is really bizarre. But yes, if you want any kind of videos like that, do let me know and I'll do my best to get them filmed. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap the video now because, like I said, been talking for England, but I've just missed everyone. I really have, and thank you so much to those of you who have reached out and sort of been chatting to me over on Instagram or here in the community tab while I have been absent from the videos. Thank you for that. I love you all so much. You're all amazing, absolutely amazing. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. I don't have a regular upload schedule, as you can probably see. My camera just switched itself off, so I think it's a perfect time to end the video. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you've liked the video, please give me a thumbs up so that I know. And until next time, stay happy, healthy, and well. I love you all so much. Bye-bye.